Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the Imperial Fist. So we got a brand new model coming for Darnath Lysander. We got a brand new combat patrol coming for the Imperial Fist. And then on top of that, we have a brand new detachment as well. So let's take a look at Darnath Lysander's new rules, take a look at the Imperial Fist detachment, and see if they seem like a viable force in Warhammer 40k. So first we have Darnath Lysander, move 5, toughness 5, 2 up save, 4 up invulnerable save. He has 7 wounds, leadership 6, and 1 OC. And he is armed in Terminator armor, he has deep strike, and he is a leader. His faction ability is Oath of Moment, and then he has some special abilities as well. So first ability he has is Icon of Obstinacy. Each time an attack targets this model's unit, if the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than or equal to the toughness characteristic of that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So very powerful ability. Anything that's hitting his Terminator squad at strength 5 or higher is going to be -1 to wound. So anything that's hitting his Terminator unit with strength 5 is going to go to 5s to wound instead of 4s. And anything hitting the unit with strength 6 or higher is going to go from 3s to 4s. So nothing will be able to wound his unit on better than 4s. Very good ability. And then we have Rampart. Once per battle at the start of any phase, this model can use this ability. If he does, until the end of the phase, this model has a 2-up invulnerable save. So this is going to become particularly useful if he's on his own, if his Terminator unit was already killed, or if your opponent has precision, something like a Judicar that can precision out a character. Having a 2-up invulnerable save for that phase ensures that he will not die. And unlike characters like Trajan Valoris that is once per battle in only the combat phase, this is any phase. Alright, and then moving over to Darnath Lysander's weapon profiles, he has absolutely no shooting attacks, he only has the Fist of Dorn. The Fist of Dorn has devastating wounds, which means on a 6-2 wound, the wounds will be devastating, which means no armor saves can be taken or invulnerable saves. He has 5 attacks, he hits on 2s at strength 10, -3, 3 damage. So very consistent damage output, high strength, good AP. Darnath Lysander is going to be an absolute beatstick. And like we said earlier, he is a leader, so this model can be attached to the following units: Terminator Assault Squad and Terminator Squad. So he can lead either combat Terminators or your traditional Terminator Squad. He's always going to want to be with a minimum squad of 5, but he will be particularly potent in a squad of 10. So that is Darnath Lysander's datasheet, and he is extremely good. He's an auto-include in any Imperial Fist army, and definitely makes them fully viable as an army. So let's take a look at the new detachment. So the new detachment is the Emperor's Shield detachment, and once again this is a modified version of the First Company Task Force. So it was already a good detachment, but maybe not the best, and now it has some modified rules specifically for the Imperial Fist. So like your standard Space Marine army, you're going to have the Oath of Moment army rule, and then your detachment rule is Wrath of Dorn. Each time a model from your army with the Oath of Moment ability makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, you can reroll a wound roll of 1. So you're going to reroll all hit rolls, and then you're going to reroll wound rolls of 1 against your Oath target. Very good. Each time a model in Darnath Lysander's unit from your army makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, you can reroll the wound roll. So Lysander and his Terminator squad will reroll all hits and all wounds against your Oath of Moment target. That alone makes this detachment absolutely awesome and definitely viable. And then for the restrictions, your army can include Imperial Fist units, but it cannot include any Adeptus Astartes unit drawn from any other chapter. So you can have generic Space Marines in this detachment, but you cannot have any non-Imperial Fist units from any other chapters. But obviously you're going to want to be taking Lysander 100% in this army. And then of course you have Tor Garadon as well, who is extremely good.
Now a quick word from today's sponsor, Game Bunker. Game Bunker carries a full range of Games Workshop products, including miniatures, terrain, paint, tools, and more. Game Bunker offers 15% off MSRP for most Games Workshop products with the discount code WHMS. Receive free shipping in the continental United States on orders over $145. Online orders ship out within 24 hours. Game Bunker is a veteran-owned business. Use affiliate link below, enter discount code WHMS to save 15% on most items at checkout. For fast, friendly service with a discount on your favorite tabletop wargaming purchases, visit GameBunker.net and let them know that Warhammer Man sent you.
So moving over to enhancements, we have 4 enhancements. You'll be able to take up to 3 of those. First, we have Champion of the Feast, Adeptus Astartes model only. Add 1 to the attack characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. Once per battle, at the start of any phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit as well. So +1 attack all the time for the character, and then +1 attack for the unit once per game. And keep in mind that your epic heroes will not be able to take enhancements as they're already fully kitted out, but you definitely want to put some of these enhancements on some of your other characters. Then we have the Disciple of Rhetoricus. Adeptus Astartes Terminator model only, improve the objective control characteristic of the bearer by 1. Once per battle at the start of any phase, the bearer can use this enhancement. If it does, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the objective control characteristic of other models in the bearer's unit as well. So you can do this at the start of any phase, so if you're on an objective and you don't currently control it, you could basically add 1 to the OC of all the models in the unit and then theoretically take control and score those extra 5 points or more. And next we have Indomitable Champion, Adeptus Astartes Terminator model only. The first time the bear is destroyed, roll a d6 at the end of the phase. On a 2-up, set the bear back up on the battlefield as close as possible to where it was destroyed and not within engagement range of any units, with 3 wounds remaining. So on a 2-up, you stand back up with 3 wounds at the end of the phase, always a nice ability to have. And then last but not least, we have the Maladroxian Standard, Adeptus Astartes Ancient model only. Each time an attack targets a bear's unit, if the strength characteristic of the attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of the bear's unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So again, this is a really strong ability, but in this case, it is if the strength is greater, not greater than or equal to, so not quite as good as Lysander, but again, this will be excellent on a Terminator squad. Keep in mind there is a way you can stack some of these buffs with your epic heroes by joining something like a Terminator Ancient to a squad of your Terminators with one of these characters attached, but the units do get pricey when you start attaching multiple characters. Alright, and then we have our 6 stratagems. So starting off, we have Armor of Contempt, 1 command point. When your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected as targets, target 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as a target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Effect until the end of the phase. Each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration characteristic of the attack by 1. And we do know via the balanced status light that this is only for one unit's attacks. It is not for the entire phase. But still, very good ability. Next, we have Wrathful Conquerors, 1 command point. Your movement phase. Target 1 Adeptus Astartes Terminator, Blade Guard Veteran, Stern Guard Veteran, or Vanguard Veteran unit from your army within range of an objective marker you control. Effect, that objective marker remains under your control even if you have no models within range of it until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any phase. So sticky objectives for Terminators, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, or Vanguard. And you'll find that this detachment is specifically focused on the first company, which is all of your veterans. Next, we have Fury of the Fist, 1 command point. When your shooting phase or fight phase. Target 1 Adeptus Astartes Terminator, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, or Vanguard Veteran Squad unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Effect, until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. If the unit is below its starting strength, add 1 to the wound roll as well. So +1 to hit, and then if you're below your starting strength, +1 to wound as well. Very strong ability and definitely a buff over the previous detachment. And then we have Disciplined Extermination, 1 command point. Your shooting phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes Terminator, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, or Vanguard Veteran Squad from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. Effect, until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have Ignores Cover ability and improve the AP of their weapons by 1. So this will be pretty good on a 10-man Terminator squad, dishing out 40 rapid fire shots, or alternatively on a Stern Guard unit. The Ignores Cover and the extra AP is definitely nice. And then we have our last 2 stratagems. Obdurate Vengeance, 1 command point. When fight phase, just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. Target 1 Adeptus Astartes Terminator, Blade Guard, Stern Guard, or Vanguard Veteran Squad from your army that is selected as a target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Effect, until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit is destroyed, if this model has not fought this phase, roll a d6. On a 3-up, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks. It is then removed from play. So 1 command point, 3-up, fight on death. Definitely very powerful. And last but not least, the stratagem that ties this entire detachment together, Dropship Extraction. 1 command point. When end of your opponent's fight phase, target 1 Adeptus Astartes Terminator unit from your army. You cannot target that unit if it's within an engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Effect, remove that unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserves. So you'll be able to pick up a Terminator unit that's not in combat at the end of your opponent's turn and then re-deep strike them on your turn. Or potentially even keep them in deep strike and then rapid ingress them on your opponent's movement phase. So very strong, definitely some really nice enhancements, definitely some really nice stratagems as well, but the army and detachment rule are really what makes this so clutch. You now have 2 really nice characters in Darnath, Lysander, and Torgaradon. You've got a really nice detachment to go along with them, and the Emperor's Shield, Imperial Fists are definitely a viable choice in competitive 40k. I'm for sure looking forward to seeing these guys on the tabletop and how people are utilizing them. I definitely think they're going to be really strong and very thematic that you're leaning in on the first company. You're definitely going to have some very powerful Terminator combinations. You're going to be able to utilize Blade Guard very well. You have potential to have some really nice Gravis units, and even Stern Guard and Vanguard veterans are a viable option. So let me know what you think of the new model, the new rules, and the new detachment. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to the Game Bunker for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on most Games Workshop products with code WHMS at checkout. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.